Hi and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first time you visited. My name is Mike and today I'm going to be doing part 2 of my Complete Beginner's Guide to Lightroom Classic. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you haven't already watched the first video, I would recommend you go and watch that one first because we're just building on the fundamentals and the good habits that we started in that first video. I'm going to begin opening Lightroom. What I've done since the last video is I've just imported some more images. Also, because I didn't think the 4 or 5 images that we'd imported already were going to be enough. So here we have 129 images in the Ali Classic Dress Rehearsal capture folder. And what we're going to do today is move on to what I believe to be the most important bit about arranging and organising your images within Lightroom. A great workflow to begin with. Like I said, developing good habits moving forwards. I had to unlearn some bad habits when I first started because I was watching 50 different YouTube tutorials on how to organize your images, and a lot of the time they don't match the advice. This is through a lot of research and a lot of advice from different people and different sources has led me to a way I feel my library is incredibly organised, and it's a nice easy structure to work with, and you'll see some of the benefits as we work our way through the tutorial. To begin with, we're going to leave folders behind. This is where we imported our original images from the memory card onto our computer. So they're on the external hard drive, or on the computer as I will no doubt say. We're not going to touch them there. If you move images around in the folders section, they will move around on your actual computer. If you delete them from in here, they will delete them from your actual computer. Done it more times than I care to remember. We do not want that. We want to develop good habits moving forwards, so you don't have the pitfalls and mistakes that I made when I was learning. Hopefully that's what this video is entirely all about, building good habits. We're going to come down to collections. This is what your main port of call for organising your image is going to be. Now, this is not the first time I've recorded this video, so I tried to do it the first time without any kind of visual prompts. Worked out incredibly difficult. So what I've done is I've created a little Acrobat presentation to just try to describe what it is exactly that I am basically getting at. Here we have collection sets and collections. So we hop back into Lightroom. In your collections over here, if you click on the little plus, you have create collections and create collection sets. Now, collection sets are the overall folder that your collections and your images will live within. And by that, what I mean is, if we were to go on a photo trip to a track day, Alton Park, wherever else, so you're going to photograph the cars, and you turn up on the day, and there's an agricultural show going on next door. I've no idea why I chose that one. It was just the easiest example for me to use. So let's just say there's a full-on big farmer's market style thing going on in the next field over. And you think, you know what, tractors. I quite like tractors, like textures, like the machinery. You're obviously there to look at the cars and everything. Loads of characters hanging about, loads of different textures you could use for some images as well. All the rusted metals and paint colours and everything. All kinds of interesting textures. I look for them everywhere. You never know when you're going to need them. And then you've got your cars. So your Porsches, your Ferraris, your McLarens, everything else that's there on the day. So what we would do in order to organise all of our images is we would spend the whole day photographing, visiting the 2 events, like we said. We would create a collection set, an overall collection set. This is the folder where all of your images from that day will sit. Track day, for example. In the example with the one we're working on in here with Ali, that would be Ali dress rehearsal, because that's what the overall shoot is around today. So this is for the White Rabbit tutorial that I've got coming out soon. So the overall shoot, technically, the overall collection set is White Rabbit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, I'm going to click the plus, I'm going to create a collection set. I'm going to call it White Rabbit. going to hit create. Now, I'm telling Lightroom here that all of my images that are going to be coming into this collection set are going to be relevant to the White Rabbit shoot, the White Rabbit tutorial. I don't want to just lump everything into there. Just every single image from the studio shoot, every image from the dress rehearsal, every image from the location scouting. That's disorganized. That's not what we want. We don't want to have to search through. We want to know where everything is, exactly where everything is. So what I'm going to do is create another collection set within that collection set. So once again, if I hop over to here, we have track day, which is your overall shoot for the day. And then we have cars, Alton Park, and then we have agriculture show. The two separate things split up into two separate collection sets. You can layer these, you can stack these, you can have as many collection sets as you want within your folders, within your collection sets. Overall, first collection set, track day. You go there, you find there's a car show and an agricultural show. You have two separate collection sets, one for each side. One for cars, one for agriculture. Now within the cars collection set, we don't want to lump all the Porsches in with the Ferraris and the McLarens and everything and the Skodas and stuff. We want to keep everything organised. So we're going to create little separate collection sets within each of these separate events. So for an example, cars, Porsche, Ferrari, McLaren. Let's pick the three most basic, easy examples to use. In the agricultural one, we have the tractors, the characters that are there on the day, the farmers or people doing business and everything, great. And then we have textures. Once again, these could be anything. So these are separate collection sets. I'll hop back into Lightroom so I can show you how I'm going to put that into practice. We have White Rabbit. I'm going to create another collection set within White Rabbit. And I'm going to call it, because this is from Ali's dress rehearsal. Ali dress rehearsal. And I want to create it inside a collection set. White Rabbit. It's the one I've just created just then. Create. There we go. We now have an Ali dress rehearsal empty collection set. I know for a fact with the White Rabbit stuff as well, I have on location scouted to try to find the best place to shoot for the tutorial. I'm going to create another collection set. I'm going to call it location scouting. You could call it places to possibly shoot, interesting places, whatever you want to call it. Inside the collection set, White Rabbit, create. So now I have Ali dress rehearsal and I have location scouting. These are my overall folders where the shots will be kept and will be archived and will be stored, so they're nice and easy to find. You don't want to have to go through all your folders and everything to find where your images are. Now, because these are holders or folders for your images, we're going to create what's called collections within the collection sets. So collection sets are the overall big folders. Collections are the actual images where they are kept, where they are stored, like we did when we imported the images. Ali dress rehearsal, I'm going to click, create a collection, and I'm going to call it capture, as I do because that's what I use across the board. You could use raw, you could use originals, you can use whatever you want, just as long as you remember what it is and you keep it organised. Inside collection set, Ali dress rehearsal, create. Now within the White Rabbit collection set, I have an Ali dress rehearsal collection set, and within that collection set I have a collection called capture. I'm going to create another collection within that Ali dress rehearsal one called selects. This is going to be the images that I'm going to take further with post-processing. Maybe they're the ones where I'm like, these images I have to visit to post-process. Inside collection set, Ali dress rehearsal, create. There we go. If you look at the overall structure of the folder here, it's just like we did when we imported the images in the first place. We have our overall shoot. We have our category that falls into. Then we have our original images, our selects, our exports, our send to client, our web images. However many collections you would like to include them here. This is essentially a virtual workspace for you to work in, to categorize and organize your images. I'm going to go down to here, location scouting collection set. I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to go to create collection. And now these locations that I'm potentially using for the shoot and the tutorial are at a country park called Thurston. So I'm just going to put Thurston. There we go. Inside collection set, location scouting. Now, if I was visiting lots of different locations, I would create a collection set called one called Thurston Country Park, another place called Second Country Park, another third place, wherever it is the third location you visited, and then put your raw images, and then you select. So you captures, you select. I'm going to do exactly the same. So Thurston, click, create collection, capture, click, and click, create collection, selects. Inside location scouting, create. There we go. So what's happened is I forgot to hit the check to put it into a specific folder here. I'm going to leave this in as a mistake because it happens. Sometimes you uncheck it by accident. It's just a simple case of taking the capture collection and dragging it in to your collection set. No, it's not, because I've done Thurston as a collection rather than a collection set. So I'm going to just remove this, delete. I'm going to create another collection set within location scouting called Thurston. Now I'm going to leave this in as a mistake because, like I said, this happens. It's no good me just going, this is how you do it, this is perfect. If you make these mistakes and don't know how to backtrack, here we go, this is how you do it. So I've now created a collection set. And now take my capture folder, capture collection, drag it into the Thurston collection set. I will also drag my selects folder, and there we go. Location scouting collection set, Thurston collection set, with captures within it. Collections within it, rather. What I'm now going to do is arrange my actual images. It's the most important bit. Once you've done this behind the scenes stuff, it will make it infinitely better. Your organisation, it is worth it. Just these few extra steps that you will get very, very fast at doing. Literally, you'll just go collection set, collection, collection, done. There you go. Sorted. Only takes seconds. We're walking through it nice and slow pace, keeping all the mistakes in as well, so you will know how to backtrack and how you can create your collections, your collection sets. I will timestamp it as well. I'm going to go to my folders. I'm going to go to my Ali dress rehearsal. And so we've got capture in there and also location scouting folder. So these are all my captures for the dress rehearsal. I'm going to go to Command and A, which will select all of my images, or you can click on the first one, scroll down, hold Shift, click on the last one. So Command and A. So that's selected all of the images. Now we'll go down to my collection, Ali dress rehearsal, capture, drag them over. Boom. There we go. Done. Perfect. I'll go back up to my folders. I'll go to Location Scout. So all of these images from lovely snowy day in Thurston. I'm going to select all of these images, Command and A, and I'm going to drag them down to my collections, which is here. Collections, Location Scout, Thurston, Capture. Done. That is it. That is all you need to know so far about transferring and organising your images into easy to manage capture and folders and collections. Now what you do is you close the arrow down on your folders and you click on your collection. Now the reason this is fundamental, the reason this is so important is, like I was saying before, if you move an image in your folders, you move it on your computer. If you delete an image, you delete it on your computer. You cannot reorganize your images within your folders because they're alphabetized or done by file name, essentially, in metadata. So they will stay in that order unless you rename them, and then it will automatically put them into order. Collections have no such fussiness. You can reorganize your images as much as you want. You can delete your images, you can rename your images, you can edit your images. They will never affect your original images on your computer or your hard drive. This is like a free reign space, a safe space to edit, to mess around, to group your images together, delete images you don't want to get rid of, delete images you do want to get rid of, rather. So what we're going to do I'm going to show how I go through and select the images to keep and to discard. Now, the images that I don't want to have on my computer anymore, I'm going to actually delete them from the disk. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, as photographers, I know we don't do that. We store every image we've ever taken on 20-year-old hard drives, and they just sit there gathering dust. We don't just get rid of the images. There's no need to keep them. Your gut instinct is usually right. Storage now might be a lot cheaper, but it's still storage. I have a lot of old hard drives that I need to go back through and just delete old images off before I learned these good habits. Don't get like that. It's a big library to sort through. Just start off on the right foot, organise it well and organise it properly to begin with. Before I move on and start doing this, you can literally create collections. Like, say for example, you've got a really disorganised folder on your computer called wildlife, or all your different shoots that you've done where you visited hides and you've got kingfishers with ospreys and thrushes and blue tits and everything else all in the same folder. Some random fox turned up, so you took photos of that as well, or some otters. It's just a mess over a load of different days. You go in here to your collection sets, you create a collection set, you call it wildlife. So that's overall everything wildlife, and then within this wildlife collection set, which we do not want within our White Rabbit folder at all, so we are definitely going to delete that. So let's create a collection set, call it wildlife, and do not create it with inside a collection set White Rabbit. There we go. So wildlife, there we go, nothing in it. We create a collection set called hides, all the ones that we've taken at set hides. And then we'll create a collection set called, I wouldn't know what you call it, in the wild. There we go. So inside collection set, wildlife. Click. So we've now got hides, we've got in the wild. Within the hides, we create another collection set. We would call it kingfishers. Then we would have another one, another collection set. We would call that one, let's say you're lucky enough to photograph ospreys. Inside collection set hides? No. Yeah, actually, yeah. Inside hides. Or maybe that would be in the wild. So we just drag and we'll move it out. So you can just reorganise these by just clicking and dragging on them. And then within each one, we would click and we would create a collection called capture. And then we would go to our folders. We would find that massively disorganised folder that had all the random images in. We would find all the kingfisher shots. We would click, we would tick them in the corner, or we would hold down command and click on them. And then we would drag them straight into the wildlife collection down here for kingfishers. And then all of your kingfisher shots are just organised in the one place. You can move them around. You can stack them together. I'll cover that in a future tutorial. You can select them. You can get rid of the ones. It's rather than just being a massive monumental task to organise your images, it is easy to do in this method. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to hop back into the White Rabbit shoot, early dress rehearsal, capture. Here we go. Organising and flagging images. Now down here in your filters, you have 3 separate types of filter. You have flagged, which means picked. You have unflagged, which means undecided, technically, lazy. And then you have rejected photos. So we want to have all of our images fall into the picks or rejected. We don't want to miss any out. So we're going to touch on the middle flag, but after we've finished, just in case we've missed any. To begin, double click on an image and it'll open it into this hilarious loop view. Well done, Ali. And if you hold down command, and just keep your finger on it for this, you can use left and right to scroll through your images. There we go. And if you want to keep an image, you press up. That's too hilarious not to keep, so up. And it will say increase flag status. We go to the next image. No, not so keen on that one. Down. Decrease flag status. We go to the next one. That's a decrease flag status as well. That's definite down on the arrow keys. However, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to pretend I've missed it so you can see what I'm doing with the filters in a moment. Go to the next one. Really like that, actually. Go to the next one. Yep, you like that one as well. I'm just holding down the command key and pressing up and down. A bit more serious. No to that one. Yes to that one. No to that one. So I'm just going to scroll through, and I'm going to keep just pressing up arrow or down arrow when I get to shots that I like. I'm just looking at the lighting. I'm looking at which images are really going to be ones I'm going to want to edit as well. This is just the first run through. You can do as many of these little run throughs as you want to get rid of images. That one definitely up. Yep, keep that on just in case for a crop. Nope, blinking. Just do a couple more. Quite like that one, but the light's falling a bit awkward, so no. Yes, much better. Corrected it in the next one. No. Too much shadow, too much shadow. Quite like the attitude, actually. So you see, I'm just going through fast. Your gut instinct, usually right. Just try and practice going a little bit faster through. So just the next one. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is you're going to imagine we've been through all of the images. So there's 129 images in there, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm not even going to speed it up. I'm just going to say they're done. If I press G, that will bring up the grid view. So that's an overall view of your entire folder. The images that are highlighted are ones that are pics or have been unflagged, so ones that I haven't gone through yet. If they are grayed out, they are rejected photos. Now this is where your filters come in. Now if I wanted to pick all of the ones that I've flagged as a yes and as a keep, I would click my filter for the flag twice. There we go. That's all of my selected pics. All of my images I've gone, yep, definitely going to work on these or work through them. You can have another go through, double click, you can go through any ones that you don't want to keep. For now, you can just kind of go, change my mind about that one, hold command, press down. It will disappear from your pics of selects. See, that one's gone. These are all my kept photos. Perfect. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, I've been through loads of different calls. I've decided this is definitely the image. These are the images that I want to keep and I want to work on. I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to click on all of them, or you can press Command and A to select them all. And I'm going to drag them into my Selects folder. Now, before I do that, 129 images in my Capture folder. I'm going to click and drag these into the Selects folder. Still 129 images in my Capture folder. It hasn't done anything to mess up my original structure. Just in my Selects folder are only the images that I picked as selects, as flags. Amazingly efficient and organised way of doing it. So I'm going to hop back into my Capture folder, and I'm now going to delete the images I did not want to keep, the ones I have flagged as rejected photos. So instead of using the tick here, which is my flagged photos, my selects, I'm going to use the one on the end. I'm going to click on it. These are my rejected photos. These are ones I do not want to keep. I will not leave them just sat on my external hard drive. If you want to, you can. However, your space will just, it will munch through your space in no time and be buying extra hard drives to keep photos you should have gotten rid of in the first place. I think I have kept far too many photos over far too many years of photography. It's only now, as I'm doing more of the tutorials, I've realised how disorganised keeping all of those old photos was. If you can bring yourself to do it, delete them. Now, if I choose all of these photos to delete, and I right-click on them, there is no delete option. There is a remove from collection. And what that'll do is it'll just take them out of my collection over here, out of the White Rabbit Photoshoot collection. They will stay on your computer, on your hard drive. So, moving back onto what we spoke about before, folders. Collections, you cannot influence the files on your hard drive. Folders, you can. If you delete an image from a folder, it deletes it from your hard drive. Delete an image from your collection, doesn't delete it from your hard drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going into my folders again, Ali Dress Rehearsal Capture. All of my pics and all of my rejected photos carries over into your original folder here as well. So if I go to my rejected photos, there they all are. If I hold Command and press D, delete, not D. If I hold Command and press backspace or delete, it will pop up and say, do you want to delete the 13 rejected master photos from the disk or just remove them from Lightroom. I do not want to remove them just from Lightroom. I don't want them sat on my hard drive eating up space for no reason. So in the future, I have to come back, revisit all of this, and re-delete all of the images I said I should get rid of. I'm going to delete from disk. I'm sure there's a lot of photographers watching this now going, oh, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done. Don't delete anything that you are not sure that you really do want to delete, obviously. But if people are blinking, if like someone's got their hands up in front of their face, if the light's not falling on it properly, you want to be putting out the best photos you possibly can. Trying to rescue a bad image, always a bad idea. I mean, it can be done if you've advanced with your editing. However, it's always going to be not that best image. Get rid of them. I will hop out of my folders now. Once again, I'm just going to click the arrow so I'm not tempted to go in there. Go to capture. Deleted. Gone from the collection. It's taken them out of the collection when I deleted them from the folder. That's perfect. Exactly what we want. They're all still in here. All still in the selects folder. I don't need to have a deleted folder or might delete or anything like that. They've gone. And that's just what we want. One more thing to touch on in this. So we now have a pics folder or selects folder. I don't want to edit 7 images. I want to take 1 image to be exceptionally good, or 2 or 3 of the images. I don't want to do all of these. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click and I'm going to work through these images and I'm going to see which ones are going to be the ones which are the serious must edits and the possible revisit for behind the scenes, etc, etc. Like this one, behind the scenes. Great. I'm not going to put it in the calendar or print it out massive, however funny it might be. Thanks, Ali. I'm going to just leave that as a pick. What I'll do is I'll go to the next one. Once again, behind the scenes. Funny, like it, definitely keeping it. Not a serious edit. Next one. Like that one. Very much like that one, actually. So that's the 3rd one in. So I'm just going to go through and just see. Like that one too. Probably not enough light on her face in that one. So yeah, I'm just going to go with cut her toes off in that one, so I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use that one and the 2nd image. Now, because I've already command up, I've already selected these. I've already flagged these as pics using the flag method. You jump in, top left corner, white flag means it's picked, it's chosen. But I want this 3rd photo and this photo here to be something different. I want them to stand out in the sea of flags that I will have, hopefully, from a shoot. If you're that confident, no, not that many flags. Okay, so be fussy. I want these two to stand out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my number keys. So 1 to 5 will give your images a star rating. 1, no, just skip them all to 5. 5 is a keep. This is already your picks. You don't want to confuse yourself. You don't want to have, oh, I have to sort through my 3-star ones and my 4-star ones. Is that maybe a 2-star? Don't do that. No, bad habits. 5, keeping it. Be definite. Those 2, I definitely want to keep. They are 5 stars. I will press key number 5. There we go. They are selected as 5-star images. Filters, once again, if I click on the plus filter, on the flagged filter, these are my flagged ones from in here. Not flagged and rejected. These are just my flagged images. There's another filter just off to the right here, where if I click on the 5-star, it will show me just my images with 5 stars. Or higher, apparently. I don't think you can go higher than 5 stars on there. These are the definite 100% ones. There's even another layer where if I decided, oh wait a minute, I think I prefer this image much more over this one, you can use colours. So when you get to 5, it's ratings 1 to 5. You get to 6, it's colour labels. 6 is red, 7 is yellow, 8 is green, 9 is blue. So you could, let's say, 8. Now I use these colours for my own filtering system. If I have a portrait shoot and I absolutely love the posing that I've done with someone, but they're blinking, and I know I need to take a head from another shoot and Photoshop it in, I will tag it as green and the donor image, so to speak. So I know, therefore, when I am at the end of all of my editing, if I go in and I choose my green filter, it will just show let's say those two, let's give that a 8. So when I go into my filters, even if I'm in my main capture folder, and I click on my green ones that I know are definitely going to be Photoshop edits, there's the filter, they're flagged, they've got 5 stars, they're green. I know I need to edit them in Photoshop with a head swap. Use whatever categories you want. You might use blue. You might use ones that need to be taken into an external sharpening program like Topaz or something. You might do them as blue images or red. Take your pick. It's your organization. All I want you to take from this is how to keep your images organized within your folders without damaging them on your actual folders and your hard drive collections. You don't have to worry. You can just remove images, delete them, move them around. You can even reorganize them in folders. You can actually... Personal one is not supported on the collection set. Right, okay, so what I'll do is I'll go into capture here, selects. You can click and drag. You can move your images around. If you wanted to group just your green ones together, or if, let's say, these two images are very similar, great. That one, and let's say that one's quite similar, you can move them around. You can't do this in the folders on your hard drive. Collections, all benefits. No downsides to speak of. Good habits. Use collections. I'm going to leave that there. For the next tutorials, we're going to move into the edit section, which is where all the fun happens. This is the organizing, and you get to feel great about doing your editing because you've got such good organization. I am creating a free little ebook guide to these first 2 parts of this. Already started working on it. I will add it in with the description as soon as it is ready. It shouldn't be long. And I just want to say again, thank you in advance for anybody that takes the time to watch the videos, to like and to subscribe to my channel. Massively, massively appreciated. You're all absolute legends. I love you all. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Cheers.